see what happens. That was just a few seconds. All right, guys, check out this new vapor blasting gun I picked up from How To Motorcycle Repair. My buddy Matthew over there, go check him out. HTMC on YouTube. I'll leave a link below. He makes these, and he does some other really cool stuff with vapor blasting, and got a really great channel. I actually found him a couple years ago when I was looking for vapor blasting stuff. And he's manufactured this new gun, and I want to try it out. The gun I have in the VHT machine is a couple years old now. I've used it quite a bit, and I would imagine the tip's starting to get worn out. But this one's supposed to have better flow and produce a better product, you know, quicker, faster. So let's hook it up. He also sent me some hose. I'm going to be changing out the hose in a little bit, but I might just try to hook it up to the factory hose right now so we can get right to it. But it is really sweet, feels really nice in your hands. He's got all the specs and details, and he has different sizes and depending on what you're doing and what size your air compressor is and all that stuff. So let's hook this up and check it out. All right, guys, let's take this new gun, hook it up to the vapor blaster. Got the Weekend Warrior over here from VHT. I picked this up a couple years ago, and the gun works great. But I have a feeling this one's going to work even better. So let's get it hooked up. It looks like the hoses will match up. We'll find out here in a second. I also have new hoses that Matthew sent me, and I'll be hooking those up at some point. But let's just try it with the factory hoses first and see how that goes. All right, this should be pretty straightforward as long as these hoses match up, same size. Looks like they're the same size. Can't wait to try this out. It's gonna be good. All right, let's see what happens. You can see they're made a little different. The tip is definitely different. Let's see how it feels. All right, so we've got the new gun hooked up, the vapor blasting gun from How To Motorcycle Repair, and this is the one we just blasted with the Vapor Honing Technologies gun. This is the gun that comes standard with the Weekend Warrior, and it works great. But I'm hoping this will be a bit of an upgrade. We're gonna find out, and I'm pretty sure it's probably gonna work better, just because it's a brand new tip, brand new gun. It's got a new design, and it's designed to hit a little harder. So I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. I think it's gonna be good. Let's get this fired up and see what happens. All right, let's do this. Got the water on, the air is hooked up, and we're ready to roll. The new gun is on. It only took a minute to take the old one off and get the new one on. Now, he did send new hoses, so I'm probably going to be hooking those new hoses up soon, because it does feel a little different as far as the way the gun connects to the hoses. So I have a feeling those new hoses are going to work better, but this is fine for now. All right, I'm noticing right away, almost immediately, that took that off a lot faster. That's my first impression. It's taking it off a lot faster, guys. Way faster. That was just a couple seconds. I'm doing this real time. Let's try it again right here. That's rust and paint and old dirt and grease. I'm impressed. All right, guys, I'm gonna turn the camera off and clean this. I'll let you know how long it took, but it's probably gonna take about 15 minutes to get both sides. I like it. The gun feels good. I'm happy. Man, that gun's working good. About 15 minutes and it's looking pretty good. For this piece, I think we're fine. I'm not worried about it being perfect because it's just a brake backing plate. We're gonna throw some paint on it and it's gonna be good to go. Saved me about $100. These are about 50 bucks a piece, new. And it took about 15 minutes a piece, so I got about 30 minutes invested. Saved me about $100, so that is worth it. You know, I mean, you can get these results with a sandblaster, but a wet blaster is way better. It looks pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, you can see there's still a little bit of dirt and rust in the crevices. You know, you could go for another 10 minutes or so and make this perfect if you wanted to, but I don't need to go perfect on this. That, for this particular piece, is perfect. And I would say the new gun is way faster. I can even feel it. I can feel the pressure hitting the gloves, and I can tell it's stronger coming out of there. So, all right, what else can we blast? I'm ready. Let's blast this real quick. This is steel. This is part of the steering box. This should only take about a minute, maybe 2 minutes. 1 minute per side. Let's watch, see what happens. We'll do this in real time. All right, I'm gonna keep the camera rolling. It's a small piece, it shouldn't take very long at all. And I'm running about 80 or 90 PSI right now. I have to check, but I think that's where I'm at. All right, here we go, guys. Ready? Right around 2 minutes. Ooh, look at that pretty gun sitting in there. I love that color, man. That color green is awesome. All right, guys, that was about 2 minutes. And it's good. Down to bare metal, it's ready for paint. It looks awesome. This is good enough for paint. Put this out in the sun and let it bake. All right, let's do these bolts. These are the bolts that hold on these in covers for the bearings. I'm using 220 grit, and I've already cleaned a lot of the grease off of these because you want to try to keep your media as clean as possible. So get all the grease and dirt and stuff off that you can first. This is what I was using to get all the grease and dirt off of these parts. These have all been cleaned. All right, let's do it. Ready, set, let me grab the bolts. All right, go. All right, guys, in a matter of 5-10 seconds, I'm just gonna show you real quick. That bolt's ready to go almost. A little bit more on the threads underneath, and then it's good. So you're talking like me. Let's just round it up to 30 seconds a bolt. I mean, you could knock these out in no time. That's where it starts to pay off. We're looking good. Looking good, guys. We're ready to go. All right, guys, we're getting there. It's looking good. Looking good. We're gonna let these dry out and hit these with some paint real quick and they'll be ready to go. All right, guys, this thing's working great. Oh, you know what? The other thing I meant to mention is vapor blasting. One of the other benefits of vapor blasting is you can blast machine parts because the water keeps the sand from, you know, pitting the machine parts. I'm not sure exactly how it works, and it probably depends on what grit you're using. You know, if you were going to do machine parts that were critical, like the internals of the engine or anything, you probably want to use the finest grit, the white finest grit. But stuff like this, that's not necessarily a mechanical piece, it's just holding a seal. You know, this thing was slightly pitted just from age, and it cleaned it right up. So, and we can hit this with some real fine sandpaper if we need to get that smooth surface again. But it's smooth. I mean, 220 is pretty smooth. It's not a real aggressive grit. You could hit this with a finer grit if you wanted to, but I want to paint the outside of these. But you can see the difference here. It's pretty amazing. All right, guys, I just found this. I remember I had it laying around. I could have used this when we went to save the Dragonfly a few weeks ago. This is a tool to remove that nut, that axle nut. And on the 1972, I think, and older, 1972 and up, on these buses, they have what is called a big nut axle. Big nut. This is a 40 millimeter, I think, or 42, I forget exactly. It doesn't say on here. But it's designed to go on this nut and knock it off. You hit it with a sledgehammer. You can see where somebody's hit it a few times. So this has actually been used a couple times. And I thought it'd be cool to vapor blast it, get all the rust off of it, and put a nice coat of paint on here. It'd actually be cool to powder coat this. But I don't have a powder coating system, so maybe I'll get one of those soon at some date. But yeah, this tool came with this bus, which is pretty cool. And when I first got this bus last year, I thought, man, it's in bad shape. But now that I have the Dragonfly to compare it to, this thing's a freaking cream puff. Believe it or not, it's actually in pretty good shape. We're gonna get to this at some point, clean it out and take a good look at it. We'll see what parts we can use from the Dragonfly for this and try to get at least one bus up and running sometime, maybe next year, once we get the Ghia and a couple other things done. But today is all about vapor blasting, and it's all about how-to motorcycle repair and his vapor blasting gun. And it's also about, you know, preparing the Ghia, the 1967 Ghia. These are all parts for the Ghia, except for this tool here. So these parts are for the Karmann Ghia, and this is work that we're doing. You're gonna see this in a future video, the front beam completely rebuilt. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of parts. Parts have to be ordered. Parts have to be rebuilt, painted. So it's taken some time. And in the meanwhile, I thought, you know, it may be fun to show you guys the Dragon rescue and the Dragon's first wash, the Dragonfly rescue and the Dragonfly first wash. There's a lot to do. We're gonna do the seat rails for the Ghia. That's coming up soon. So just stick around. There's stuff coming. And, you know, I like to mix it up a little bit every once in a while. So if you like the content, hit the thumbs up, make sure you're subscribed, and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. And go check out How-To Motorcycle Repair. Matthew has videos on YouTube. He has a website. He's super, super smart guy. And go check him out. All right, let's see what his gun can do to this thing. Let's do it. see what happens. That was just a few seconds. All right, it's been about 5 minutes. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks real good. All the rust is gone. I would say that was about 5 minutes. You could probably hit it for a little bit longer if you wanted to, but I'm going to call that good, and we'll let it dry out and paint it. All right, we're going to let it bake out here in the sun, and then we'll throw a coat of paint on it. These are ready to paint. We're going to use this Krylon rust protector, satin enamel. It works great. I used it on Rusty's front beam, just like this one, very similar to this one, but the one for Rusty, I used it on his beam and it worked great. It's not the best, it's not the hardest. You know, you could probably use something like 415 or some other harder type of enamel, but this is pretty good. It's not bad. There's a couple more things here I wanted to do real quick. You know, there's going to be other stuff that I'm going to do. I'm probably going to do this piece and this piece, but I'm going to take this apart first and take a close look at it. Hopefully we can save it. These pieces need to be done. These are for the front beam. The disc brakes go here. This is the disc brake back plates. So those need to be done. Those will probably take, you know, they're a nice flat surface. These are probably going to take 10-15 minutes per piece. Probably similar to the back plates for the rear. So, you know, another 30 minutes to do these. You know, 2 or 3 minutes to do these. A couple minutes here, a couple minutes there. But all that stuff adds up. If you can save the original pieces, if they're in decent shape and they'll fit, you can save them, clean them up. And again, you don't have to do this. You could use a wire wheel. If you don't have a blaster, if you don't have a sandblaster or a vapor blaster, it's not a big deal. You can still do it. Just get a drill and a wire wheel, or you could even do it with your hand and just sand off some of this stuff and then throw some paint on it. Not a big deal. I'm just kind of, you know, taking it to the next level with this stuff, guys. So just having fun. If something you're thinking about doing in the future or you're already doing, you know, comment below. Let us know how you do it. There's many different ways to get a similar result. I just have fun. I have a lot of fun blasting stuff, and you got to be careful because some stuff you don't want to blast, like you know, because the sand, you have to make sure you get that sand off of the pieces, especially if it's a piece that's going to go in the engine or the transmission or something that's critical that it's going to have. You don't want any sand in there. So even if you're sandblasting, if you're vapor blasting, even if you're just cleaning parts, think about it. Think about when you put something in a parts cleaner. Think about all the dirt that's in there. It's all going in there. So it doesn't matter if you're sandblasting, vapor blasting, or cleaning something in the parts cleaner. You have to make sure that you rinse it over and over and clean it and have like 3 or 4 different, stages that you get to the end result to make sure that all the passages are clear. All the critical passages that might need the sand out of them. So just, think about that whole process and how you can get to an end result and have a super clean product. All right, I'm just rambling on. Okay, so I haven't done anything to these. This is the rust and dirt that was on there. I'm just gonna leave it because it's not that bad. I'm gonna get that grease out of there because I don't want that going in the machine. You want to keep as much grease and dirt out of the vapor blaster as possible. But you're gonna get some. You're gonna get rust and dirt in there. But if you can keep it to a minimum, it just keeps your overall process cleaner. It's just like when, like I tell my wife about the dishwasher. I'm like, she hates it because I clean the dishes. I rinse them off before I put them in the dishwasher. And she thinks that's crazy. And some of you guys might think it's crazy too, but think about it. If you're putting all the dishes in the dishwasher and they're completely filthy, sure, the dishwasher is gonna work, but all that stuff has to go somewhere and it gets stuck down in the drain. And also it's being thrown all around the machine, on all the dishes. And there's residue left over, trust me. So, okay, you guys can go on about that. Look how many times this has been taken off in the past. Look at all the grooves. I can't imagine someone, this thing's been on and off a few times. This one not so much, but there's a few times, or someone just didn't know what they're doing and beat the hell out of it once or twice. You can buy new ones, but it's kind of cool to have the originals. I think it's neat. So let's clean these up and see how they look. All right, check it out. I think it's cool that it's got some dents and scratches on it. Gives it character. It's got the original logo in there, which is neat. Like I said, you can get these new if you want to. But I think it's cool to save the originals. All right, we're gonna clean this one and then we're gonna paint some stuff. Stand by. All right, let's get some paint on these. Perfect. Okay guys, there are lots of things happening. As you can see, the front beam is dismantled and it will be rebuilt. I have all new parts for it. I took the arms over to Darren's house so he can remove the old ball joints and press in the new ones. It's gonna be sweet. We've got new calipers, new rotors, new shocks, new tie rods, all that stuff. The only thing we didn't get new was the steering box. I'm hoping we can rebuild this one and save it. If not, we can get a new one later, but let's see if we can save it. We're gonna get this cleaned up. We're gonna try to reuse the torsion bars, get them cleaned up and reuse them. And there's lots going on. We're gonna get to this bus at some point. This is the same year bus as the Dragonfly. I haven't named this one yet, but it's in a lot better shape. Dragonfly's out there. You guys watch that video. Go check it out if you haven't. It's the Dragonfly Rescue with my buddy Dave and the Dragonfly first wash. It's actually, you know, it's in pretty bad shape, but believe it or not, people have saved worse. But it needed to be clean. So now you can see, you know, this was covered with a foot of dirt and mud and bugs. It's all cleaned out now. Everything's nice and clean. And you can kind of really see what's going on. The seats are good. A lot of this is actually still good, guys. Believe it or not, you know, this can be cleaned up. The floor, you could save this floor, but it'd probably be better to replace it. Take it out and replace it. Believe it or not, there are people that can fix all this stuff. I don't know if I'm gonna do it, but I've got the one in there that's in a lot better shape. So, you know, maybe we could use some parts off of this one. Who knows? Oh wow, I didn't know they had defrost this year, on this year. But see, I mean, stuff just like that glass or these hinges or tail lights, brackets, little stuff like this, believe it or not, you know, all these things, these brackets and switches and knobs and windows, all that stuff is worth money. So yeah, it looks like a, I mean, in that transmission's worth money. It's all worth money. The engine that came out of it's worth money. These windows, the top, the windows, the mirrors, the handles. Some people said it'd be cool just to hang the doors up on the wall as art. That would be cool, actually. I gotta figure out how to get these seats out of here. They're just rusted in there bad. So we'll have to spend some time. I got that one loose, but this one is in there. So I need to get the seats out because I want to save the seats. Even the steering wheel, believe it or not, is worth some money. And it's pretty cool. It's got that Dragonfly inlay on there. But this stuff was sitting, you know, exposed for years and years. So the even like the speedo and stuff like that would probably have to be rebuilt or replaced. All this stuff would have to be clean, and I mean, this was packed with mud and dirt and bugs. It was just nasty. Anyway, guys, this is not a Dragonfly video. This is a video about vapor lasting gun shop update. It's probably really super windy. Painted these. This actually worked out pretty good. I found this piece of metal in there. It's got all these holes in it. So the only issue right now is the wind. It's super windy. So I need some kind of a wind wall, you know, out here, like a big piece of plywood to block the wind. But it's great out here. The sun is out, so this paint will dry real fast. They're looking good. All right, guys, stay tuned. There's going to be more. This Ghia is going to get done. The front axle, the rear transmission, all that stuff's going to get replaced. Darren, VW Darren's going to build me a sweet engine to go in here. I'm going to work on the battery tray and try to get this cleaned up. I don't know how far I'm gonna go with the body. I don't know if I'm gonna put it on a rotisserie and try to strip it all down and completely redo it, or just drive it dirty for a little while. You know, the chassis will be like brand new. The engine, the transmission, the front axle, and all that stuff will be like brand new. But maybe keep the body patina for now and enjoy it. And then maybe later on, pull it back off and do a complete restoration on it. But I want to get back on the Dragon. There's the Dragon's cab. I'm gonna get back on this and start getting that together. Darren's building the engine for the Dragon. That's gonna be sweet. Guys, this is just like a shop update, tool review, what's happening. I appreciate the support. We're gonna get some stuff done. So, you know, if you've been around long enough, you've seen stuff get done. The Type 4 engine that came out of the 914, guys. It's just like this. This is the engine that came out of this bus. That's the engine that came out of the Dragonfly bus out there. These are both Type 4s. The Type 4 that came out of the 914 is a 1.7. We completely rebuilt it. It's gonna be sweet. We're gonna be doing a first start on that in the next couple weeks, so keep an eye out for that. All right, guys, I'm excited. I'm out of breath, and I'll be back here tomorrow. We'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace.